Welcome to this week's supply chain update, brought to you by Phoenix International. On October 1st, President Trump announced new tariffs, including a 50% duty on kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and related products, a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture, and a 25% tariff on imported heavy trucks. On September 30th, Customs and Border Protection will update the ACE portal to allow electronic refund processing via ACH, though a full transition to electronic-only refunds will be announced at a later date. On the Trans-Pacific eastbound, demand remains unusually flat heading into Golden Week, with service suspensions failing to offset excess capacity and rates staying soft. On the Far East westbound trade, inflation and cautious consumer spending continue to suppress demand, while Northern Europe faces vessel delays and inland bottlenecks. On the transatlantic westbound, spot rates have stabilized near $1,800 to $1,900 per foot, but congestion at Antwerp and Southern Europe ports and inland shortages are keeping pressure on operations. Ahead of Golden Week, demand across North Asia is firming, with higher rates on Asia-US and Asia-Europe lanes, especially into the US East Coast. South China is recovering from Typhoon Regasa, which caused more than 500 flight cancellations in Hong Kong, and backlogs are gradually clearing. Meanwhile, Vietnam and Malaysia are seeing higher volumes and tighter space, while Taiwan, South Korea, and Thailand remain stable with manageable congestion. Spot rates from Asia to South America East Coast continue to soften as weak demand and ample space weigh on pricing. Port operations across Latin America remain stable, with no major disruptions reported. At Brazil's Santos port, DP World and Hapag-Lloyd renewed their long-term terminal expansion agreement, which promises greater throughput and handling capacity. In Europe, HM has repurchased more than 80 million shares, reducing state ownership and sparking speculation about a potential public sale later this year. On the China-Europe lane, Sea Legend's Arctic Express service departed Ningbo on September 18th and is set to arrive in Felixstowe on October 8th, offering a seasonal routing alternative amid rail disruptions. Meanwhile, Poland reopened its border with Belarus on September 25th, ending a 2-week closure that stranded over 130 trains and raised concerns about China-Europe rail reliability. On the Trans-Pacific, carriers are planning more blank sailings in October as spot rates fall below contract levels, with capacity cuts rising significantly on both US East and West Coast routes. Meanwhile, Chinese leasing firms are exploring ways to reduce exposure to upcoming US port fees scheduled for October 14th, including converting vessel leases into loans and other restructuring options. And that concludes our update on the global supply chain. Thank you for joining us. We will continue to monitor these developments and keep you informed.